Hello, I'm Zardis, and welcome back to my Planet Zoo for Beginners series. Today we are going to talk about the terrain tools. So you can find them down here in the bottom right to terrain, and there are different things you can do. First of all, we'll go through sculpting. So you can pull terrain, which is to just lift it up. You can see, actually, you can modify the intensity as well. So if we lift that up, it pulls the terrain straight up, and you can pull it in any direction you want. Pull it this way. Or go way up high, and then pull some off to the side. You can push it the same way with the push tool. And so there's lots of different things you can do for sculpting the terrain here. Then you can flatten to foundation. Just go like this, and you can see it actually left some up here, which is one thing about the Planet series. You can have terrain just floating, and then you can use different objects to put support beams or something and have different levels of your terrain. Flatten to surface allows you to flatten at an angle, and then you can go down like that. So now we have this little bit of thing here, and that can be useful when you're trying to smooth out a slope a little bit. And that's one challenge that you can have. Like if you pull up in one spot, it can be pretty steep there. If you use flatten to surface and find pretty low angle, you can get that to be a little bit smoother. Then use smooth to smooth that out even more. So now that is a little bit less steep than it was. The chisel tool chisels a space out instead of pushing. So you can see that it is chopping a little bit more as opposed to push is kind of smooth all around. Chisel is a little bit different. And you can also use chisel to kind of cut into things as well. Then roughen, you can use that, and that just randomly roughens up the terrain a little bit. That's one useful way to get some good rock layouts. The terrain stamp tools, I don't actually use them very much, but you can increase the size of them, where I guess this is changing the stamp mode. So if you click this, it adds a square. Then you can click another one, and it just kind of can speed up the process of getting your terrain the way you want it if you use that. I don't always use that. I usually use the push and pull stuff, but you can also do different shapes. You could get a little bit of a sphere there. You can also raise them, raise the height up here, and then it can be up higher. Like that. And you can use that for whatever thing you are trying to do. A cylinder as well. Or pyramid up at the top. Pyramid height can change the shape of that as well. There's many different things you can do with terrain. Painting, this is the texture that you put on it. You can change the texture to a short grass, or it was on long grass. You can do a light soil. You can do heavy soil. Can do smooth rock or rough rock, fine sand or coarse sand, snow, which will not last if you don't have a cooler there or if the temperature is not high enough. So you see it is going away when I move the cursor away because there's no cooler there, so it doesn't make snow be there forever. Auto paint will just kind of do what texture I think it wants to have there, which is usually the long grass, I think. The other thing is when you're sculpting, you can go in here and you can do paint. You can change this to use selected. So if you have, say, rock selected and then go to sculpting and you want roughen, you can do that and it will automatically use that texture. So when I said that it will be a good way to get some rocks in there, if you have that terrain selected, it automatically gets that texture in there, which is really, really useful. You can also do that with any texture you want here. The other thing I recommend is not usually doing 100% intensity. So now that we have the rocks here that are the heavy rocks, we can switch over to the 50% intensity with the smooth rock. And that just kind of changes the texture a tiny bit so it doesn't repeat and it kind of blends a little bit better. So that is what I recommend with intensity. Water, if you go over to water and you right click on a water area, it will remove the water from that area. Then you can look at this, and we're on the calm water, and you can click to get a line to go, and where you click will be the top of the water level. So that is shallow in this pool. If we go a little bit higher, we can get that to be a bit deeper, and we can go obstructed means that it's trying to go around here and it gets another object. If you go a little bit lower, you can go, and this is as high as we can get the water in this little area here. You can switch to rough water, so you have a little bit more options there. That is just a different texture of the water. You can select the water, and then you can check on the space, the depth, and the cleanliness, and any objects that are connected to it. Like if we go over here, you select this one, you can see how clean it is. You can see that there are 2 objects in there, and you can see what habitats are connected to it. You can also change the water color a little bit. You can change it to dirty water, you can change it to Everglade or Amazon, and you can get even more specific. This is a newer feature. You could add red water if you're trying to get like a lava type look or something, and then you can change the transparency as well. So lots of different options for your water as well. And remove is just removing it like if you were right clicking with the water tool there. But that is some tips on how to use the terrain tools. I hope they're useful for you as a beginner, and be sure to check out my other content as well. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time. Take care.